and I. The three of us, we were pen pals with Peter Oosthuizen. In 1966, we decided July holidays, we're going to the Great Salt Pan.
Yeah.
By train. We had to climb on the train. And we had to go to the 16 years old. I mean, these are little babies, hey? But it was safe in those days.
Yeah.
But we went into the great unknown, and we got off the
Oh, the man, so good to see you. Oh, so good to see you.
Hey, Vaughan. Yeah, remember from Vaughan, yeah. From a few years
we
back.
piled off the train at Waterpoort station, just north of the St. Ponsburg.
Yeah.
And to get to the Great Salt Pan, it was a rutted, very bad dirt road with lots of corrugation. We had to chuck all our gear onto a salt lorry, because the salt lorries would come from Salt Pan and drop the salt at the station, and it was trucked off by the train.
Yeah.
And we got onto these salt lorries, and they were wet with salt water, concentrated salt water.
Oh my goodness.
And we were bouncing around in these things. When we got to Great Salt Pan, we were burnt from the salt all
So
over.
the osmotic pressure was there.
Yo, bad news. We were red everywhere. Red arms.
You can't even believe it.
Yeah, we were a terrible mess.
16-year-old.
So we arrived there, and the guy, the foreman running Salt Pan, sees all our nets and whatnot. He says, there's a butterfly collector down there, 300 meters down there. You'll find there's water there. It's the cattle trough. That's your water. And it's under a kurubesi. And we find this 1947 Chevrolet station wagon with rusted, with old green paint on it. You know, that's sort of all faded. It's a sort of a faded khaki green colored thing with a semi-tent thing fixed under there. And out comes this oak, and he's dressed in bush clothes with a pith helmet. With a pith helmet on. And this mood of his snort. And he's electric blue eyes. Electric. You remember his eyes?
Yeah,
eh?
exactly.
They looked right through you. They were like bloody big blue diamonds. Wat de maak julle hier? Julle klein piepslot. And it's just swearing, and you know, the Matesa and Oosthuizen came from decent Afrikaans homes. They never heard this kind of language. They were just standing there, mouths were open, their eyes were like this.
Fortunately, you were English.
Yes, and I said to him, hey, but you don't have to swear like this, man. You know, I just took him on straight away. You don't have to swear like this. Wie dat dink jy is jy om vir my te sê hoe want wat ek sê? So then he puts his hand out and he says, Abraham Swanepoel. And all three of us, then I was gobsmacked.
Okay.
Because I didn't recognize him.
Because you read the book. When you...
Yeah. I said, die David Swanepoel. He says, dis nie David nie, dis David. Met a B, not with a W. Dis nie David nie, it is David. And have a look, it's not David Swanepoel.
Exactly.
It's David
It is
Swanepoel.
David.
Yeah. Yeah. So of course then, the first thing he does is he pulls out, he had this setting cabinet with all his things, and he
Calls it a Montorian.
he would get more butterflies onto a board than I've ever seen anybody get onto. A 12-inch board had at least 12 Hemiolus calculuses, azure blues.
Wow.
I'd never seen these except in a book. And the photographs in his books weren't great. And I looked at these things and I just said, oh my God, I've got to have these. These I've got to have. So he says, no, he'll go and show us tomorrow morning. So we sit around the fire and he shows us how you make mood coffee and throw the coals in to get the mood to settle down at the bottom. And this coffee, I tell you, you had one cup of this and you were charged for the day. There's so much caffeine. Everything stood on me. The nerves were tingling. So he says, no. He says, kom julle of gaan julle die hele dag in die kamp sit. And he marches off into the bush. And Peter Westhuizen and Fred Matthijsse run after him with their nets and whatnot. And you know, those things are hard to find at Salt Bank. If you don't know where those things are.
Oh, yeah, they would probably be on the base of Northern Slopes.
Yeah, you know where the Olex is. It's hard to find them. If you don't know where they are, you get a circle. And I sat at the fire and I thought, no, I don't want him to show me. I want to find these things myself.
Yes,
No. So he said to me, gaan jy, kom jy? And I said, nee oom David, ek gaan hulle self kry. I'm going to find them myself.
Dis nie David nie.
Jy's net fucking It took me 3 days.
Oh, really?
3 days
It
to
can
find the
be,
things.
because it's not
I
fine.
walked, if they're in tiny little colonies. If you know where the colony is, bingo, it's a piece of old tacky. If you don't know where the colony is, it's 3 days
Oh, you're right.
walking around. And every day, the first 2 days, I'd come home and I just shook my head. He says, do you want me to show you where they are? I said, no. He said, you are stabbing them.
Raise a glass, man.
Yeah, there's a glass to Swannie.
No, but
One
the
of the
thing is also,
great
he
guys.
sent me all sorts of butterflies.
But I want to
Oh,
finish
fine.
this. Sorry,
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
going to finish the story. It's got a nice little touch to it. Yeah, he takes the third day. I come struggling in at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I've got a grin from here to here, obviously. And he said, Wys my. So I showed him. I caught half a dozen of these things. He said, he looks for Freddie in the mist. You will catch butterflies for the rest of your bloody life, you poor bastard. Those two over there, they will stop. And he was right. He was absolutely right. Now he was in his 70s then. Sorry, late 60s. But he was tough like a piece of biltong. Sorry, what?
No, man, I was talking.